Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing I hauled it but did I like it. So I'm going to bring back some things that I have recently hauled and just review them, check back in, let you guys know what I think of these products. I did get a lot of Flower Beauty's new items, and then I got a lot of Wet n Wild's new items. I'm still reviewing the Wet n Wild items. I'm still waiting on my shade of the actual Wet n Wild foundation. I could only get porcelain and I just couldn't mix it right to get my shade. So a friend of mine is actually grabbing it because I can't get it around here. It's all sold out or freaking open. So I'm waiting on that. I'm so grateful to her. And then I can get on here and review the Wet n Wild stuff that I got. So right now we're going to be doing the Flower Beauty, and I do have an e.l.f. quad as well that I want to talk to you guys about that I believe is somewhat new. So if you guys are interested in knowing what I think about the Flower Beauty's new items, then just sit tight and we'll get right into it.
Every time we touch, your hands are colder, colder. There's no beating coming from your wooden chest. Frozen grin.
Alright, so I'm going to try to go through this somewhat quickly just because I have about 5 items here, but like 3 of them are actual palettes. So it's going to be more in-depth with those than the other items, and it's going to take a long time. We don't want to be sitting here forever just to know if we should buy something at the store or not. So let's get into it. Now I'm going to start off with this sponge, and yeah, it's dirty as hell because I've used it a lot and haven't washed it yet because I'm lazy AF. But this is the purple, it's supposed to be like a lavender color Flower Beauty sponge, and this is about 8 something, so it's a little expensive, and I was a little like, it better be gold or I'm going to be pissed. This is actually wet. This is what it looks like wet. It is actually much smaller when you get it in the package. I have to say that I, right off the bat, can tell you this is amazing. I would highly recommend it to anybody. This is the softest sponge that I own. And I don't have the original Beauty Blender, but I have touched one at Sephora and all of that, and they feel no different. There is absolutely no difference to me in the softness, in anything. I mean, it's just amazing how soft this sponge is. It is by far my best sponge, and I have a ton of sponges. A ton of sponges from Amazon, from all sorts of duped places for the original Beauty Blender. I have so many dupes, and this is by far the best one. So I will repurchase this, no doubt. I feel like you're getting a huge deal with this because it's so much. It might even be the exact same as the Beauty Blender, only a different shape, and it's half the price. So I have no problem paying that for this sponge. The only thing that I don't really care about for it is that it does have a flat side here, you know, to do your under eyes, but it's still rounded at the top. They don't cut it off, so it's not like a precise point. So it is kind of hard to get up underneath your under eye and blend out your concealer right in the corner of your eyes. It can be a little bit of a pain in the ass, but other than that, this is perfect. This to do your whole face, it is so easy. It takes me like no time at all. I just love this. So soft, and when you wash it, it doesn't stain like you would think it would. It doesn't for me. I use the Zote soap, the pink Zote soap, which I'm thinking about changing up but haven't yet, but it makes this come out like perfectly clean. So 100% happy with this sponge. Now the next singular item before we start getting into the palettes is the Flower Beauty, and this is their Flower Pot Powdered Blush, and this one is in Sweet Pea. And I told you when I hauled this that I was a little like, meh, I didn't care for the fact that they put the flower on it because it reminds me so much of the Milani flower blushes, and I just think they kind of ripped them off in that sense. I know their name is Flower, so it makes complete sense for them. Companies do this all the time, it's whatever, but I just think they could have done something a little bit more original, but it makes sense. So I've been trying this out. I've actually been only using this blush for the past 2 weeks. Absolutely love it. This is another hit for me. I think that it's buildable. It's not too pigmented, so it's definitely buildable, and those are my kinds of blushes. A lot of people tend to go right off the swatches and how pigmented something is right away. And when it comes to blushes, you really don't want a blush that is overly pigmented. You really don't, because that's when it becomes really hard to not be a clown. And overly pigmented blushes can be really hard to blend out. So I love blushes like this. I think that it rides right on that line of being able to build and then being way too pigmented. So it's perfect for me. You just lightly touch it with a brush, and I'm wearing it today. And I just love it. It lasts all day. It doesn't wear off for me. I think that it's an amazing, amazing blush for the drugstore, and I want to get more. So I'm not mad at it, and I'm not mad at the packaging either, because the packaging is so slim and nice and sleek that these are very, very easy to store. So happy with the product, happy with the packaging, everything's good to go on the blushes. Alright, now let's talk about the one item I have that is not Flower Beauty, but I did want to stick this in here because I have been reviewing the crap out of it. Now this is the somewhat new, I believe. I don't want to shine you in the face with it. It is very chrome. But this is from e.l.f. and this is their Beautifully Bare. This is their Beautifully Bare Total Face Palette. And this one is in something. There's just a bunch of numbers. I really think that it's the only palette like this in this line. So if I can open it, this is a con. Like, it's really hard to open, and I always chip my nail polish or break my nail trying to open it. So that makes me mad. But when you do open it, you get a huge, huge mirror, and then you get 4 shades here, and you're getting a bronzer or contour, 2 blushes, and a highlight. And I saw this and I just was like, oh, I need that. I need that so much because I really do like e.l.f.'s powder products. I think that they're amazing. So I had to grab it, had to see how they are excelling in life because I haven't gotten any new e.l.f. products in a while. So I was excited about this, and from what I'm understanding, it is somewhat new. It's about $8 for this, so that's not a bad price at all for a quad palette like this. So let's start off with the highlight. The highlight is not a highlight that most of you are looking for. It's not you're gonna beam to the aliens and knock them out kind of highlight. It's not like that. NASA's not gonna be seeing you today. This is more of a lit from within, very, very sheer glow highlight, which I appreciate. I like that personally because I'm just going down. The older I get, the less I like that highlight though, you know, like that crazy killer highlight. The less and less that I like wearing stuff like that. I have too much texture. It doesn't look good on a woman my age. Like for me, my face personally, I'm not liking it anymore. So these kind of products I love. I think that they give me a freshness, a dewiness to my face, especially for people with oily skin. It's a way to be dewy without being oily. Gross, dewy. So I like that. The blushes are not my favorite. They're not my favorite. But you can pop these out and interchange them. So I'm thinking that they're probably going to come out with other palettes or maybe even just individual interchangeable like blushes and stuff. So I'm waiting to see if that happens. So maybe I can change them out. They are beautiful colors. I have used them. They do show up, but they are extremely sheer and they do not last all day. So that is something to think about. And then this here, this is my favorite product out of the whole palette, which from what I was hearing from a lot of people, all the negative feedback that I heard about this palette was about mostly this shade. People were like, oh, it's too light, it doesn't show up, it doesn't stay on the skin. And I was like, oh God, I'm gonna hate this. But I love it. I'm using it today. I have been using this. This is the only contour, bronzer, whatever you want to do. I contour with it personally, my nose, everything. It's been the only powder that I have used since I got it. Since I got this, this is the only thing that I've used. For my nose, my contour, any of it. I love it. Now, it is extremely sheer. I will give it that. It isn't a crazy pigmented contour or bronzer, and I love it. I love it because I can be a little bit more like careless with the product when I'm applying it. It blends out really nicely. I do have to build it up, and I like that. That way I can build it up to what I want it to be. Not, oh shit, it's way too dark when you first apply it, so I have to go over and blend and try to make it not look like I have this streak, this dirt streak on my face. I always feel like I'm doing that with any other contour color I have. So I really like this. It's not too warm. It's not too cool. It's perfect for me. It's not the best to contour your nose with. It doesn't really show up as much, but on my face, I mean, you can definitely see it. I think it looks amazing. And it's not too much because, like I said with the highlight, the contour is also becoming increasingly unnecessary for me. So just a light contour, a very natural light contour is what I'm looking for, just like in highlighters. And this palette delivers that. It's not pigmentation to the moon, but it's exactly what I'm looking for at my age, at this time in my life for my makeup. So I would highly recommend this. Just, it's not going to be what you're looking for if you follow the trends on YouTube. Alright, now let's move on to the Flower Beauty eyeshadow palette that I grabbed. Now this one is in Cool Natural ES2. And as much as I really don't normally do cool toned anything, I'm really just not down for cool tones. I'm a warm tone girl. I loved the color layout of this palette, and I gravitated to it over any of the other ones, and so I just bought it. I was like, wow, maybe this is going to be a cool tone palette that I can jump on board with, and I will absolutely love. These shimmer shades looked so promising. You get a really nice, like, what is it, a $6 brush, and their brushes are no joke, you guys. The Flower Beauty brushes, I almost said blushes, their brushes are wonderful. They're super soft, they're dense, they're wonderful. I absolutely love them. I have a couple of them and haven't been disappointed with any of them. This is no different. This palette, however, is $15, and I have to be honest, the only thing that I can say is worth it is the brush. The $6 brush. So you're basically being ripped off for this palette. This palette, I can't speak for the other ones, but this palette is junk. Straight up junk. I don't even know what else to say about it because I'm so mad at this palette. If they're not patchy, then they have no pigmentation. And if they have no pigmentation, then they look great as being swatched on your hand. But when you try to put them on your eye with a brush, even wet, spritzed with fixed spray or anything, the pigmentation, the shine, the shimmer is not there. They just flake off, and then when you try to blend them, they blend into nothing. Like this transition shade here, I tried to use as a transition shade, couldn't even pick up the color on my skin, and I have somewhat fair toned skin. Couldn't even pick it up, so I went to this one here in the middle, which is a lot darker, could barely see it, and when it's still like probably the 5th application of trying to use this as a transition, it started muddying up so bad that it looked like I was trying to draw clouds on my eyes. It was so patchy. I tried to use this really pretty shimmer shade here, and it was not shimmery at all. It just flaked into nothing. It got into my eye. I was super pissed. And the darker shades, this is just really, really, really bad. I had really good hopes for this. I thought if anything else it'd be like the Maybelline palettes, which are crap, but they still are doable. You can use them. This, I just found absolutely no use for this. This is junk, and I hate saying that about brand stuff, but this is. Like, I wouldn't recommend this. If you want to waste your money, you know, and get the brush, go for it, but I'm pretty sure they sell it in singular brushes, you know? I'm pretty sure you can get this singular. Don't get this palette, at least the Cool Natural one. You're going to be very, very disappointed. And when I hauled this, I had a lot of people also tell me that the palette itself was junk. And I was like, I really hope I feel different about it because it was $15. I'm pretty sure I'm going to return this. So, I mean, it's 15 bucks. I can grab a couple of different things at the drugstore if I take this back. And there's nothing making me want to keep this palette. It's bad, you guys. Alright, and let's move on to the last Flower Beauty palette I got. Now this one is the Shimmer and Strobe Highlighting Palette. And I'm not really sure if there are different colors. It says SP1, so there may be different highlighting colors, but I didn't see them at my store. Now this is that they are long lasting, a natural luminous glow, and they are sheer coverage. Now when I say that on the back, they are sheer coverage. I'm wearing 2 of the highlighters today on my cheeks. So in my nose. So you can get like somewhat of what they look like. I put this on very lightly because, like I said, I'm not really looking for that Jaclyn Hill highlight anymore. I'm past that. You know, it's a little bit unnatural looking, especially out in daylight light. It does not look the best on anyone unless you have porcelain soft, no pore skin, and I don't have that anymore. No. So I think this palette is about $12, a little bit cheaper than that crappy eyeshadow palette. It comes with a brush, which is nice, but I didn't use it. You know, you could get a nice little streak there going, but I didn't use it and I have no need for it. Then you end up getting 3 highlight shades, which are pretty good portions of highlights. Those are pretty nice sized pans. I believe that you get 8 grams in all of them. So it's, I don't know. I'm horrible at math, like 2.5 each or something like that. I don't know. You know over me. But you do get a gold, a pink, and then a more champagne color, which I believe is really universal for skin tones, because a gold skin tone is going to fit a lot of deeper skin tones. You know, pink is going to fit certain kind of pink toned skin colors, and then you have just a normal kind of champagne color which fits basically all skin tones but the darker range, I believe. So, and they can even use it as an inner corner highlight for the eyes, which is what I actually did today. I used it as an inner corner highlight to this eye look. I love this palette so much. I can't even tell you. I think that for a drugstore highlighting palette, this is beyond amazing. Everybody needs this. I don't think that this is something that you should pass up at the drugstore. I think this is well worth your money. Well worth your money. And if you use these wet, you can achieve that pow Jaclyn Hill highlight you're looking for. But they're exactly what I need. They're exactly what I need. I mean, look at the glow they get. It's just a beautiful, beautiful glow. I love it so, so much. You can see in the swatches that they're just gorgeous. They have very nice reflectiveness, but they're not too overpowering. They sink into your skin, so they're not like a lot of drugstore highlighters that are going to sit right on top of your face. And a lot of cheaper highlighters tend to do that. They don't melt into the skin. And then you have to use like a FAQS Plus spray to try to melt it in, and still, it can still sit there and it's noticeable. This doesn't do that. It kind of sinks right in. It melts into your skin. It looks like it's part of your skin. I love this so much. I think that a lot of high-end highlighters can be put to shame by this palette right here, and you get 3 different shades in one palette. So I think that you are going to be very, very sad if you pass this up. If you can find it, grab it. It is so well worth the money. It is long lasting. It lasts all day. It does not wear off. I think that the sheer coverage is a little bit of a lie, because I mean, it is a little bit sheer to YouTube standards, but it's not sheer when you think of a highlighter. They are pretty pow in your face, so it can be sheer. If you use it very softly, it can be very sheer. So I think that this can be an either or kind of palette for people who love the Jaclyn Hill pow in your eyes, and for people who are like me and they're liking a little bit less toned down highlights. This can be for either or. And I think that it's for a lot of different skin tones as well. So this is just a great palette that I don't think anybody should pass up. I think that if you've been on the fence about getting this, get it. Just get it. Just get it. Jump the fence and get it, but don't trip, because that hurts. It's a long way down. Alright, so that is everything that I wanted to review in this eye haul, but did I like it? If I forgot to mention anything, if you have any questions or concerns, leave them in the comments and I will answer you. I think that all of them are so worth it except for that eyeshadow palette. That eyeshadow palette is so, so bad. Now, the e.l.f. Beautifully Bare palette, that will be for certain people, and a lot of people won't like it. For me, I surprisingly loved it, so I think it's well worth it. So the only thing that I would say stay away from is that Cool Natural Flower palette. That was horrible. I hope that this video was useful for you guys. If it was, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out so much. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.